Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. So, I think this is shorter than last time I just said that. Let's jump into it and see what they got for us this week. Already, right off the bat, I don't know how to read this. I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
That's a nice head you have on your shoulders.
4Ds nuts. Ha.
Got him. How do you pronunciation? Suspicious YouTube video.
It's
Nope, that's not. Alright, well, I don't know how to say that. It's Greek. It's literally Greek to me. Thank you so much for the sub, Fusion. I really appreciate it. Your support has been huge. 40-month streak. That's ridiculous. Thank you. I'm Chad, game designer at the CK3 team. Today I'll be walking you through some highlights of what we've added in terms of Byzantine flavor in Roads to Power. Hey Viper, good to see you. Some cursory but important notes to begin our discussion. Images are works in progress, we're still working away at polish, etc, etc. Same criteria, same, not criteria, same... Wow, I am stupid today. I was really stupid yesterday, like all day, until I took a nap. And I was literally talking to the coworker that I said that to today, and I was like, well, I'm not stupid. I don't think I'm stupid today, even though I didn't get enough sleep, but I think I am stupid. Same caveats as before. Everything's a work in progress. None of the numbers are going to be the same, so I'm not going to focus on those. Yes, I will refer to Byzantium as Byzantium in this dev diary. I know that the endonym is more properly the Roman Empire, but it's our policy to not use endonyms in this game. Those of you who have strong opinions get a special game rule to rename Byzantium with several options. Ooh. Neat. Cairo? Is that how you say that? Kinda. My Greek is worse than my Italian. Eastern Roman Empire, yeah. I mean, it would be Silios Romanum? Something like that would be accurate. Without further ado, let's get into it. Further ado indeed. Flagship for administrative government. Byzantium has been our main point of inspiration and thus the impetus for the administrative government. We outlined this in the 2 previous dev diaries on admin, but I want to discuss this a bit more in detail. Essentially, all the content we've made for administrative government has been designed with an eye towards Byzantium as the model. This doesn't mean this content can't appear if playing as a different admin realm, far from it. What it does mean is that all the content you encounter while playing as Byzantium should feel tailored and appropriate to the context. There's alternative text for other admin realms. Ooh. So fret not, we haven't sliced all the content into a single empire. Playing admin should generally feel different and exciting, but playing as Byzantium should feel special. Please give us Romania and make the game even more confusing. Is it formable in CK3? I don't remember. Maybe not. Maybe it's not a tag in CK3, I can't remember. We've revamped Greek cultural traditions and added special integrations with admin government and other unique aspects of the DLC. In the descriptions below, you'll undoubtedly find references to features and concepts that we haven't yet discussed, but will be discussed either later in this or a future Dev Diary. Alice Politics can recruit Varangian guards as men-at-arms when holding the Byzantine Empire title and the Varangian Guard has been founded. Can appoint the Akolothos court position when holding the Byzantine Empire and the Varangian Guard has been founded. Reduced aptitude for bodyguards. Ooh. Can blind and castrate prisoners. Eunuch and beardless eunuch traits get additional skills, aptitude, and influence. Can appoint the chief eunuch court position. Can use the castrate kin interaction. Ambitious is more common. Physically disfigured and infertile claimants cannot press their claims against rulers of this culture. Improves the withdraw from view countermeasure. Tier 2. Loyal, deceitful, ambitious, arbitrary, and paranoid characters gain additional monthly influence. Shy, trusting, maimed, one-legged, one-eyed, and disfigured characters have reduced influence. Personal scheme phase length and political scheme phase length are faster per phase. Monthly court grandeur change up. Huh. I think default in 876, Romania is an empire, but Romania is also one of the names for the Byzantine Empire. Yeah. No, Romania is not Bulgaria is an empire in 876. I mean, not in historically they consider themselves one. They're not in Crusader Kings. I'm tired. It's Bulgaria. Yeah, no, all good, all good. Roman ceremonies gain a decision to hold a triumph, can host the chariot race activity, and hire both a champion charioteer and a bookmaker. Children born to a ruler holding the Byzantine Empire may gain Born in the Purple. Having the Born in the Purple trait increases the character's candidate score under acclamation succession. Administrative emperors may enter into Doomvirates, voluntarily sharing power with another character for powerful bonuses. Oh. Administrative empires may appoint one of their children as nominal co-emperor, entering into a nominal Doomvirate till the child comes of age. Oh shit, that's huge. Diumvirate. Thank you. Oh, there's an eye there. There's an eye that I'm just not seeing. I see it now. Vassals of this culture are more likely to join claimant factions against the holder of the Byzantine Empire if they are not the preferred heir. All Greek counties lose popular opinion. Oh, this is messy. It's defo spelled doom. Oh no, you're right. That's weird. Let me see here.
Duumvirate.
Duumvirate, not diumvirate. Okay.
Duumvirate.
Duumvirate. I've not encountered that one before. Right, like a triumvirate. That... Okay. Huh. Sorry for my spelling. I meant like a triumvirate, so duumvirate. No, No, all good, all good. Like I said, I am stupid today. Also, of course, it's one of those days where my nose starts closing up as soon as I start streaming, so I just took a Claritin. Excuse me. Palace politics and cultural traditions. In addition to this gorgeous new art, we've added loads. You know what? This art is really nice. This art is very pretty. Also, cultivated sophistication and imperial tagmata. I noticed that we're not getting a description for whatever those are. In addition to this gorgeous new art, we've added loads of integrations with new content exclusive to the Roads of Power. Palace Politics is a great example. Not only does it unlock the new Varangian Guards Men-at-Arms type and the Akoluthos court position, I'm going to learn how to say that eventually, but also incorporates several unique bonuses to demonstrate the Greek affinity for administrative government. Oscar Mayer fruit-flavored gummy hot dog. Horrifying. Thank you. Maiming and disfiguring characters was a primary way to take your political opponents out of the running in the Byzantine political milieu, and we've reflected that here with reduced monthly influence. Oops. We've added unique bonuses to Greek characters for scheming. Not only do they get special bonuses to a new type of scheme countermeasure, but they can also execute political schemes faster. Political schemes are a new category of schemes that we've added as a central aspect to the admin government experience. I'll go into more detail about this, but suffice it to say that you can't play in Byzantium without engaging in those new schemes. And of course, your chief eunuch will be a major player. We've added a new trait called Beardless Eunuch to differentiate characters castrated as children from characters who are castrated as adults. Just how high do you be to have to even do something like that? Finally transfer. Beardless Eunuch, big bonuses, influence monthly, stat bonuses, influence monthly influence, traction opinion, liege opinion, vassal opinion, glory hound vassal opinion. Provides scheme potential, requires intrigue and learning? Oh, a eunuch trait as an agent. Or eunuch role as an agent. No, I mean the fruit-flavored hot dogs, not the eunuchs. I figured, yeah. Benefits from deceitful and patient, suffers from compassionate and honest. Eunuch scheme agent type, right. As you can see, these characters also affect influence. They are generally disliked by other vassals in the realm because they make for excellent scheme agents in political schemes. Roman ceremonies shows a skew of new features for Byzantium, including access to the Hold of Triumph decision, chariot race activity and its associated court physicians, and a new type of diarchy called a duumvirate. Oh, here's the other. Imperial Tagmata. Can recruit cataphracts, Acritai ballistorai, Scotaradioi. I told you my Greek's terrible, you'll have to forgive me. Frontier administration governorships may borrow the title men-at-arms of non-frontier neighbors. Ooh. All Greek characters, knights are less efficient, but men-at-arm counter is better. Size of title, more title men-at-arms and more heavy cav. Elite well-armored regiments form the backbone of this culture's military campaigns. Their haughty troops have little regard for petty warrior nobles and reckless acts of personal valor. Instead, they honor discipline and the hollow names of their units. And cultivated sophistication. That first one is dead-ass cataphracts. I pronounce it as simply as cataphracts because I don't remember the pronunciation of this, but I've encountered it before. And yeah, it would be cataphracts in English. The convert to local ruler decision causes stress gain and is avoided by rulers. Ooh. Other culture rulers are more likely to hybridize with this culture. Constructing or upgrading estate buildings provides 20 development growth in the estate's county. Ooh. No more biz ending up with no development like in our game currently, which I'm about to switch over to in a second just to show off that. Or I'm sorry, no more Constantinople with no dev. Let me just turn this off for a second. 40 dev in 1392. Like, disgusting. Disgusting. So that'll be nice. The Akritai, it's a term used in the Byzantine Empire to denote the frontier soldiers guarding the empire's eastern borders facing the Muslim states of the Middle East. Exploits that embellished inspired the Byzantine national epic, the cycle of the Akritic songs. Skokatoi are hoplites. Okay. Skokatoi. Administrative noble family house heads may adopt house members. Gain monthly influence, diplo range, and cultural fascination progress. I mean, this culture is very focused on admin government, for better or worse. Imperial Tagmata unlocks the Byzantine men-at-arms discussed in the next section, but also provides some unique bonuses that are useful for administrative realms. This cultural tradition allows governors with a frontier administration type to borrow title men-at-arms from non-frontier neighbors in the realm. They also get additional title men-at-arms regiment slot and a bonus to their heavy cavalry regiment maximum size. Cultured sophistication provides a variety of culture-related effects in addition to granting development from building estate buildings. Moreover, it allows house heads to adopt characters into their house. Balistrai and the Balistrioi is used for the soldiers armed with arbalists. Ah. Crossbowmen, right. The Varangian Guard. So it's a men-at-arms type? For years, warriors from the... Oh, that's smaller. For years, warriors from the remotest lands in the north have collected in Constantinople, attracted by our riches. They offer their services as mercenaries, an art in which they excel, and have no loyalties except those to coin and their own pride. If we could organize their presence around the Emperor, we would get an invincible military force at our personal service. Unlocks the court position and the Varangian Guard's men-at-arms for the Byzantine Empire. Must be illustrious, must have at least one realm county as Norse, or at least 5 Norse courtiers or something else. Interesting. Steffo, very northern lord steel, where a single culture gets entirely new ways of play. Great point. It's not like there's not precedent for that. The Varangian Guard's men-at-arms type is now available to the Emperor of Byzantium as title men-at-arms. This means they can only be recruited for the Byzantine Empire title. Furthermore, you can't recruit them right off the bat if you start in 867. You must take the Found the Varangian Guard decision first. Akolothos, court position. To head up these new men-at-arms is brand new court position, the Akolothos. Historically, this was an office in the Imperial Palace tasked with overseeing the Varangians. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can find a pronunciation for this. No. I'll work on it. An Akolothos with good aptitude will increase heavy infantry toughness of your men-at-arms overall and make characters with Varangian trait both more common and better at being bodyguards. At least I think 3 dev diaries ago they did describe that other realms could become administrative. Or start out as admin, but it's also obvious the business admin is what's gotten the most content and unique aspects. And that's fine. I just think it's interesting that they're revamping the Greek culture to fit admin governments. Heavy infantry toughness, that's all heavy infantry. Increases Varangian bodyguard aptitude. More eligible courtiers gain Varangian and loyal. More Varangians will appear. The Byzantine men-at-arms. Also with how admin works, wonder if court positions carry over between administrative governments. I hope so. Aside from the Varangian Guard, we've added 3 new men-at-arms types for Greeks, which are unlocked by the Imperial Tagmata cultural tradition. Aklitai, Skoltatoi, and Balistrae. Let's see. Skirmishers, spearmen, and archers. Checks out. Skirmishers counter heavy infantry. I'm not seeing anything standing out here. In particular, I don't remember the stat spread of basic troops to be able to compare right now, and they said not to focus on numbers. That seems like a lot of attack for archers, but that makes sense. Counter spearmen and heavy infantry. Additional, we've added Adruzi for Armenians and Konra for the Normans. Light cavalry, heavy cavalry. Ballista are anti-infantry and spearmen, but also a siege engine. Are they also a siege? Where can you find this? It is on the Paradox forum. You can also find it on Steam in just the activity for the game itself. Was published today. Which is usually how I get to it, through a link on Steam. No problem. Yeah, look at the ballista damage. They have siege damage. Oh, right here. Oh, that's sick. Archers with siege damage is sick as hell. I didn't even notice that extra icon. Oh, I love that. Especially for late game when siege is so important. No more siege engines taking up space in your men-at-arms. Exactly. They're no more losing a slot to siege engines. Let's read the flavor text on these real quick. Veteran rule conscripts, defenders of the rocky passes who use careful timing and local knowledge to harass even the mightiest of hosts. The tall Skoltan shields these infantry array against their foes their namesake, yet their chief virtue in battle is discipline, which affords them good order to both advance and retreat. Spear-sized bolts soar from these torsion-based machines into besieged settlements and enemy formation alike, causing fear and disorder. And the Erudji Fast riding and clever in their use of harsh terrain, yet clad in solid armor. These fierce nobles can serve as both harassing cavalry and a formidable vanguard. Spurning hard with lances couched, these reckless Norman horsemen plunge into any weakness to be found in enemy formations, eager to snatch victories through shock and terror. Bureaucracy Dynastic Legacy. An expansion wouldn't be complete without new Dynasty Legacy. Fair enough. This time we've created one specifically for characters with administrative government. It's pretty. I like this art. These banners are nice. I haven't really looked closely at them, but I've liked the ones I've seen. All of these perks buff how well you can play within an admin realm. Unlocking new perks will propel your family forward whether you're aiming for the Imperial throne or you wish to pull strings from the shadows of your estate. Hoi, Toxicite! Meanwhile, Min-Maxer, time to play Hasting and take Byzantium for the 7th time. Truly. Stewards of Empire, monthly influence governor efficiency. Initial political scheme success chance, promoting house members is cheaper. Domicile construction time, powerful family rating. Unlocks the reception hall estate building. Development growth, popular opinions. Unlocks cabinet of curiosities. Diagre Kai Basule. Said that wrong. Vassals and noble families are less likely to join claimant factions or use the depose scheme. Unlocks the order mass arrest decision. You'll notice that 2 of these perks unlock unique estate upgrades, namely the reception hall and the cabinet of curiosities. These special internal estate upgrades that provide powerful bonuses for your house members. The reception hall provides legitimacy to house members who accede to the Imperial throne. Ooh. For every feast or grand wedding that house members host in the barony where the house's estate is located, the counter on this internal building increases. Once a house member wins the acclamation succession and becomes the emperor, the counter resets. Members of House Ducas will receive an additional 10 legitimacy upon becoming Basileus. 100% of legitimacy counter lost on succession, monthly influence increased. Just based on those numbers, which I know are likely to change, that doesn't seem very good. I mean, that's just level 1, so maybe it's increases exponentially. Upgrading this internal building decreases the legitimacy counter lost whenever a house member becomes emperor and increases monthly influence gain for the estate owner. Oh. The Cabinet of Curiosities, on the other hand, provides opportunities based on how many artifacts the estate owner puts on display. Something to do with your extra artifacts. Once an artifact has been added to the estate, it's irretrievable and only contributes to the quality of the Cabinet of Curiosities building. Ooh. Upgrading building dependent on contributed artifacts. Increases the quality of sponsored inspirations. Commission artifacts are cheaper. Antiquarians have more aptitude. House head can ask for artifacts through the request as house head interaction. Stewardship per influence and learning per influence. Renown, influence, and monthly court grandeur change. Wonder if that counts grade 1 through 2 artifacts. I would think so. I imagine you get like less points for depending on the quality of the artifact in question. I'm not sure. The image above shows the second level of the Cabinet of Curiosities, which is available after you've contributed enough artifacts so the quality level is 15 or higher. Contributed enough artifacts, the quality level is 15 or higher. You can see the breakdown of scores below. Essentially, the higher quality the artifact is, the greater it boosts the quality of the Cabinet of Curiosities. I was close. So a drawer full of dog pelts. Yep. Upgrading this internal estate building makes it cheaper and easier to attain higher quality artifacts, and allows you to request artifacts from other house members. The more you upgrade this building, the more bonuses you receive to your stewardship and learning skills, as well as your renown and influence gains. Finally, Bureaucracy Dynastic Legacy unlocks the Order Mass Arrest decision, which I'll let you discover for yourselves upon release. How dare you? As we mentioned in the Dev Diaries about administrative government, we've created a new category of schemes called political schemes, which are available to characters with the administrative government. Byzantium, and by extension admin realms, should be much more about intrigue and scheming than war. In these realms, palace politics and backhand trickery reign supreme. For example, at some point you'll want to run a smear campaign against one of your political rivals. You can do that now with the slander scheme. They went over this briefly, I think. Slander strategos iones. Scheme odds are excellent. Scheme phase length is 77 days. May gain slandered for 10 years. Agent selection balanced. Focus on agents increasing scheme potential. Focus on agents decreasing scheme phase length. Or focus on agents increasing secrecy. The Emperor schemes to slander the reputation of one of his vassals. If successful, this scheme lowers the target's candidate score for acclamation to be Basilius, and appointment to be Strategos. Successions in the realm, and appointment, successions in the realm, and lowers their governor efficiency by 5% for 10 years. This combo makes them a much less desirable candidate for any position. Another scheme you'll definitely want to try out is Raid Estate, in which you attempt to successfully stage a raid against another noble family's estate. As follows. Raid Strategos Theodoros. Scheme odds are poor. Phase length, secrecy. Start a raid scheme estate. You may gain gold. If discovered, you'll become a rival. Members of his house may be killed, maimed, or imprisoned depending on your choices. A building in the estate may be destroyed, and they gain estate raided. And then the same agent selection options.
Yes, strategos!
Thank you. That is why I know how to say that word. Raids are going to be so objectively funny in multiplayer. I know. So much drama, it's true. Did I know I've told this story on stream before, actually. But I had a coworker, this was a couple months, like a month or two ago now, but I had a coworker look at me the other day and go, "Have you heard of Crusader Kings?" Which made me panic, because I'm like, what does he know? But then went on to tell me the story about how he was playing in the Baltic, or not Baltic, in the Baltic states, in multiplayer with a friend of his, and had seduced his friend's wife, and then his friend's character died, and he was playing as the son, but it was actually his son all along, and he had been sitting on this secret, waiting to reveal the fact that I am actually your father to his friend in the game next time they played. And I love that about this game. Of course, it's imperative that this kind of activity remains under the radar or there'll be consequences. Potential rewards, on the other hand, are quite large. Gold for yourself and fewer political rivals from the other noble family. Disrupting your political rival's base of operations can prove quite fruitful. Infidelity in this game is so funny. It is. With plenty of these new political schemes, in addition to a venerable buffet of new character interactions, you'll have all the tools you need to plot and scheme your way to power in Byzantium. I'm so happy about this DLC. It sounds so good. It sounds too good to be true, actually. So let's hope I'm wrong about that. Byzantium would not be complete without a chariot racing activity and beautiful new art for the Hippodrome. Period. You're right. Sure, the sport wasn't at the peak of its popularity during the High Middle Ages, but it's part and parcel of the Byzantine experience, so we've added it. We've also added a few custom intents for this activity that fit better its historical and political context. The default intent will always be to increase influence, but you may want to choose to appease the populace if your popular opinion is low. Of course, there's a variety of traditional intents to choose from. Of course, you'll need to be wary. Activity guests have an additional intent option to sow discord, which aims to reduce the popular opinion of the current empire. Ooh. At the very beginning of the chariot race, you'll have the opportunity to place a wager on the charioteers competing in that day's competition. You'll see representatives here in a unique interface from the 4 traditional teams of the Hippodrome. The blues, greens, whites, and reds. You can easily see which character is your champion charioteer from the icon next to their name. I'm not going to try to pronounce those names. I've butchered enough Greek today. Ding, ding, ding. The bookmaker's bell signals that bets may now be placed on the race's time-honored teams. In accordance with the highest of offices, the bookmaker is presented to me and prostrates himself as I consider my wager. This decision is no small thing. The consequences of my supporting a charioteer or a team are both financial and rather political. Oh, and we can see the charioteers as well. Excellent. You'll be approached by the Emperor's Bookmaker, a new court position added in this DLC, and they'll ask if you'd like to place a wager. You then have a series of choices. Which team would you like to place your wager on? Would you like to place your wager on a specific member of the team, or hedge your bets and bet on the team as a whole? And what type of wager would you like to place? Character or team will come in first. Character or team will come in first or second. Or the character or team will come in first, second, or third. You may well want to place a wager on your own charioteer if you brought them along. Be wary though, for if they perform poorly, you'll gain stress. There's also chances to steal another attendee's champion charioteer if you do not already employ one. Oh, this is lovely. Every landed and landless title holder with the Roman ceremonies cultural tradition has access to the new champion charioteer court position. If hired, these characters will travel with you to chariot races and compete on your behalf. Monthly influence, placing third or higher gains influence, gives you renown for chariot training. Charioteer of this team loses opinion of the other teams, and gains charioteer trait path, prowess, health, and travel speed. Fuck politics, I'm going to the quarterfinals. I'm so tempted to just make a character who's a homeless tournament entrant as my first playthrough. I'm not sure though. Every charioteer is assigned a charioteer trait indicating which team they're on and how much experience they have competing. The more experience they have, the better they are. If you want to train up your charioteer in between races, which can happen every 10 years in game, you can work on upgrading your stable's estate building. It has a special track which unlocks a new court position task for the charioteer. enabling them to gain trade experience outside of the chariot race activity. Chariot training will stop performing chariot training tasks, gains renown, gain experience in their trade over time, costs you money. Politicking. Before the race begins, you'll have some opportunities for politicking and rubbing shoulders with other important people in the realm, depending on your stature. You only get to sit in the Kashima, the Imperial box, if the Empire invites you as the guest of honor. I just realized this is slightly cut off at the top. I'm sorry about that. Let me see if I can... Oops. Oops, wrong button. My framing is completely wrong today, and I don't know why. While the masses throng in the stands and the nobility snake across their privileged sections, here in the Kashima, Kathisma, we can mercifully enjoy some calm. Servants bearing every refreshment wait on our whims, as the charioteers ply their treacherous trade below. Among those joining me in my box is my brother Ionis, clearly basking in his privileged access to me and what that communicates. This is the best sort of people. Come sit beside me, or chatting instead of enjoying this view would be a tragedy. Event where the Emperor may decide to invite an additional guest. Then begins the actual race, what everyone's come to see. This always begins with the Emperor's address, which provides additional options, special options based on activity intent and current situation. It's time, leading my household and graciously urging along my invited companion Bardas with a sweep of my arm. I ascend to the noble Kashima, our honorary place above the pandemonium of the Hippodrome. As the sea of spectators awaits, I consider the substance of my opening address. I shall intone the ancient, impressive formalities, of course, but also I shall present the heir standing at my side, promise to address the people's troubles, publicly delegate an aspirant for the throne, boast of my righteous war, speak of my beneficiaries and loyalty I expect in return. Oh no, the Emperor docks themselves. True. You can track the charioteers in their place via the new UI element on the side of the activity window. And of course we've added chariot animations complete with horses, which are available in the barbershop. Horses and animations. But now an interlude on what happens when you have two emperors at the helm from my beloved colleague Wokeg. Surprise event, Narcissus grips the reins and urges his fine steeds to round the curve as tightly as possible, edging past Alexandros into 7th place. The crowd goes wild. Those supporting the Rossoi flash their colors and raise a great cheer. Those supporting the Luikoi, however, harumph in disarray. Yes, harumph indeed. To Umveritz. I bet you thought you were safely out of the Wokeg infodump mines, didn't you? You're never safe, not from my word vomit. Let's talk co-emperors. Co-Basilius Michael of Philippopolis. Your son, co-emperor and vassal. 16-year-old. Byzantium has historical co-emperors in both 1066 and 1178. The emperor does not share power. You'd be surprised. Yes, the Roman Empire was very much an autocracy from Augustus onwards, and by the medieval period that autocracy had decided fairly thoroughly that power rested entirely in and flowed exclusively from the emperor. But the key word there is emperor, not the. If it's the position of emperor that's in charge, you simply appoint a second emperor. a slightly more junior emperor to the other emperor, but they're both in charge. One is just a little more in charge than the other. This addresses who the next emperor will be. Emperor A is dead, but Emperor B is still empire. Mollifies political pretenders, or even just gives your child some practical experience of rule. It's also an absolute recipe for petty personal conflicts, drama, civil wars, and comes with delightful incentive to murder the other emperor in pursuit of undisputed power. BGM is perfect right now. Which track is this? I don't remember. Ah, this is the Franks. If you've ever wondered why the Byzantines have such a reputation for civil wars and intrigue, well, personally, I'd peg this practice as a major contributor. So the challenge here was to model something that caused Byzantium a lot of problems, but also to make it fun. We settled on a type of diarchy focused around settling the question of your succession, grooming your heir, and farming influence. In exchange, you can get a diarch that can be helpful, but who may, over time, grow too big for their boots and decide to take drastic action. This is making me think of viziers a little bit, in Legacy of Persia. We're introducing 3 new diarchies to represent this. Duumvirates, nominal duumvirates, and co-monarchies. Of these, duumvirates are a full-sized diarchy, while the other 2 are much smaller, goals-focused diarchies for niche situations. Really? These diarchies are grouped together as co-rulership. Co-rulers do not have diarchy inheritance. When a co-ruling diarch dies, the diarchy ends, and cannot be ended forcefully except by the death of one of the involved parties, or maiming of some, which we'll get into. Making someone your co-ruler always makes them your designated heir, provided they are of your dynasty. Shit, we're at ads already? Alright, let's see if we can get through the little further, and then we'll run ads. Co-rulers take their loyalty first and foremost from how likely they are to inherit soon. Co-rulers take their loyalty first and foremost from how likely they are to inherit soon. Time favors the young. Arbitrary culture has palace politics. A co-emperor much younger than you receives a substantial loyalty boost. They're happier the greater the age gap. Conversely, if you have a co-ruler for decades, they'll start to get more and more annoyed with you and not dying. We track both the years count for this, and how healthy you are versus your age. Age not catching up with you, old man too healthy. Your time is up, just die already. Finally a long reign debuff. Oh, that's lovely. Being unduly healthy, starting in your 50s and scaling up to your 90s, will cause a co-ruler to get progressively less loyal to you. Ah, this game is hilarious. That's great. Alright. Everybody, Twitch Daddy says I need to run ads soon. So we're gonna do that now. We're gonna take a 3-minute break. Alright. Nominal duumvirates. Sometimes you're just looking to help secure the succession. Appointing one of your infant children co-emperor isn't a silver sling bullet, ensuring they'll win the purple, it does help quite a lot. Such child can't really wield any true power, but they can start growing accustomed to the ceremonies of rule. Nominal co-emperors have access to no borrowed powers. Instead, as the scales of power swing towards them, they become more cost-efficient to promote for admin offices, and earn progress towards base skill points granted when they come of age. Ooh. Base skill points. Nominate child as nominal co-emperor. You enter a nominal duumvirate with Anna as your nominal co-emperor. She will have no access to borrowed powers till she becomes an adult. Becomes designated heir. Gains opinion of me. Emperor names one of his children as nominal co-emperor. Basically, the more power they have when they hit 16, the more skill bonuses they get from their apprenticeship as emperor. The older a nominal co-emperor gets, the more the natural resting point of the scales of power will swing towards them. To hurry the process, you may voluntarily cede authority to them. Hey dog, good to see you. When your little partner reaches adulthood, the diarchy type is immediately converted over to true duumvirate. Power level 4. On becoming an adult, Diarch gains an additional +1 skill aligned with their education and +1 in 2 other skills. Co-emperors are 100% more efficient to promote for admin offices. Current swing power 5. The long tail. As long as you have them, both nominal co-emperors and full co-emperors boost your influence gain per month and give some directly to themselves. If you elevate and support one from a young age, they'll be not only a fountain of influence for you, but hopefully have a ready supply of influence themselves when they inherit. All you have to do is keep them sweet until then. There's a lot of risk-reward here, right? Like, you are straight up encouraging your heir to murder you. And giving them an opinion malice over time, the longer your reign goes. But when they do inevitably murder you, or when you inevitably keel over, you're setting your heir up for success at the same time. Scuzzy, thanks for the follow. Welcome, my cub. Is that a K or an L? I'm getting glare. Or is that Skluzzy? Either way, thanks for the follow. Sorry, I'm getting weird glare on my screen right where your name is in the activity feed. Co-emperors can be picked up a few ways. They might be nominal co-emperors that reached adulthood. You might nominate an adult family member, or you might diffuse a faction by elevating its leader, forcibly putting truces on everyone in that faction. They carry over the passive influence gain and admin office production efficiency we talked about in the last section. Additionally, as a full co-emperor is always an adult, provided all relevant circumstances permit, their children are considered to be born in the purple just as those of a full emperor. Ooh. Co-emperors have access to the standard suite of borrowed powers that we give most diarchs, though things like Diarch Revoke Title and Diarch Retract Vassal cannot be used against the Empire's admin vassals. Like all diarchs, they're also somewhat better at scheming within the realm. Revoke Title and Retract Vassal cannot be used. Right, because admin vassals don't work that way. Finally, they interact with their liege's realm law slightly differently. Co-emperors can ask to have it increased, taking the blame as diarchs usually do, but may also ask to have the imperial bureaucracy reduced. This reduces any strife that the co-emperor has accrued substantially, and makes co-emperors the only character other than the realm's liege who can directly affect its primary law. That's cool. Oh, you can do so many shenanigans as a co-emperor. Scapegoat counterpart. Speaking of shenanigans, when two people hold ultimate power in an institution, petty personal spats can not only get out of hand quickly, they're actively incentivized. You can always blame the other guy. One of the first borrowed powers a co-emperor unlocks is the ability to scapegoat counterpart. Fortunately or unfortunately, their senior emperor can also use it back on them. Scapegoating your fellow emperor requires you to have either higher diplomacy or higher intrigue than them. You receive incentive and gain a little tyranny or strife to cause your target to gain even more tyranny or strife and lose opinion with them. Receive influence and gain tyranny or strife. Gains a lot of influence, act of tyranny, subjects lose 6 opinion. This is an abuse of power and will cause 8 strife with Co-Basilius Michael's pure vassals. Leverage your superior diplomacy subtly or overtly, or you could do the same with intrigue. A senior emperor humiliates his co-emperor in order to gain influence. Influence, tyranny, and strife gain, as well as opinion loss, all scale with your relative skill, and whether you're being subtle or obvious. Demand a despotate. A powerful co-emperor demands their own slice of the realm to rule. First, they may actually have a governorate of their own, but what self-respecting co-emperor would be happy with a mere duchy tier title? With this interaction, they may demand they be given a kingdom title within the emperor as their own private fief. This immediately creates said kingdom if it didn't exist, and grants it and all its de jure vassals to the co-emperor. Refusing this interaction costs the senior emperor double the influence that the co-emperor paid to send it. There are other ways to acquire a despotate, but they generally involve more underhanded means and don't necessarily come with an immediate grant of potentially many vassals. With 2 emperors, you can afford to risk one doing something a little grandiose. This borrowed power gives the co-emperor a single use of a very powerful CB, an imperial expedition, to be launched against realms that either border the empire or have territory de jure belonging to it. They can target all duchies that match either of those criteria and belong to the target. Wow. That's a huge CB. Every governor bordering the defender is forcibly called to war as an ally. Non-bordering governors with martial province administrations are given the choice to join. Upon victory, the co-emperor is given 4 choices. Turn the conquered lands over to his senior emperor for disbursement, reaping opinion and influence proportional to the amount of land captured. Keep the territories for themselves, losing proportional opinion with their senior emperor. Handing over most of the territories while keeping the best duchy for themselves, giving slightly reduced influence and opinion. Or appointing local interim governors. This gives no influence or opinion with their senior emperor, but does give plenty of opinion with the newly elevated governors, as well as hooks on them. Perfect for producing a batch of future loyal supporters. This is such a huge amount of land. It's interesting how they're basically implementing the interactive vassals mod with this. I haven't messed around with that, but now someone could say this could be exploited if you make a bunch of spaghetti vassals and have them border with your enemy, but we'll see. Right. Absolutely. But I mean, how many wars does it take to make those spaghetti vassals? It may not be a very practical exploit, truthfully. I'm not sure. God's perfect vassal. God's vice-regent on Earth understands that killing, even when justified, is a sin. It does a ruler good to show a little mercy when dispensing justice. And what is more mercifully just than sparing a usurper's life while denying them the chance to look upon God's right hand ever again? Co-emperors, senior emperors, and even appropriately cultured co-monarchs have access to the MAME co-ruler interaction. This allows you to choose whether you wish to cut away their testicles, eyes, nose, a leg, or an arm. If a co-ruler maims their senior ruler, then they immediately usurp their top-tier titles plus the entire capital duchy. If the senior ruler maims their co-ruler, then their diarchy ends and their former co-ruler is demoted back to whatever rank is granted by any titles they hold. Same logic is applied on execution. Oh. Gain stress because you're Craven. Gain dread. Gain the Empire Thrace, Brysis, Byzanton. Will no longer have a designated heir. Becomes your vassal, gains disfigured, leaves the prison. A co-emperor maims his father. The option to cut off the nose is obscured by the tooltip for stabbing or boiling out the eyes. This game's brutal. Lastly, we've added a reduced form of co-emperorship for feudal rulers in the form of co-monarchies. This is huge too. These have no new borrowed powers, are unique to feudal kingdoms and empires, and are primarily intent... Exactly. And are intended as an early game mechanism. Since a co-ruler is your designated heir, raising one of your children as king or emperor in your lifetime allows you access to the designate heir mechanics much earlier than usual. With the advent of Choose a New Destiny and loosened restrictions on who you might play after death, this is much less of a balance concern than previous patches. Yeah, okay. Your new co-ruler can now only be disposed by execution or maiming if you have the appropriate cultural tradition. Has the same dubious loyalty mechanics as a co-emperor, etc. So consider this a roleplay-friendly alternative to putting your preferred heir on the throne to disinheriting your 3 eldest children to get the 4th you actually wanted. Instead of influence gain, co-monarchs gain vassal opinions, scaling with their diplomacy to the liege, and gain considerable monthly prestige that scales slightly up for empires. Co-king Henry the Young the Second of Maine. Oh, he's not doing so hot, health-wise. Henry the Young King is a historical co-monarch in 1178. Okay, that's all from me for now. Back to your regularly scheduled Dev Diary host. We've added a bunch of new decisions with associated content to make playing in Byzantium feel more unique. I'll highlight a few of those here. Hold Triumph. The Byzantine Emperor can now use a Hold Triumph decision after a major accomplishment, like winning a war. This is a chance to capitalize on your success and reap the rewards. You may gain legitimacy, influence, and prestige depending on your actions. Triumph, an impressive procession. I sit high on my horse, radiant in my most regal attire, leading majestic procession through 2 wings of a cheering crowd. As my most esteemed predecessors did before me, I enter the holy city of Constantinople from the Golden Gate, parade through the city center among the ancient statues and monuments of glories past, and stop at the Milion, where all measurements in the empire start. My soldiers follow me proudly, sharing in the glory of the victory over Sultan al-Muazzim Alp Arslan, while the citizens jeer at the prisoners and admire the spoils of war. But where should the triumphal parade end? The Hippodrome or the Hagia Sophia? The following events are reactive to what you've done most recently as Emperor. For example, should you win the war against the Seljuks in 1066 and hold a triumph, you'll have unique options for how to focus your speech. Ooh. As I step up into the imperial box of the Hippodrome, I debate the best way to capitalize on the victory over Sultan al-Muazzim Alp Arslan. Wars are overrated, so perhaps I should divert their attention somewhere else. For instance, to internal stability or prosperity. With the guidance of St. George, many victories shall come. Jesus may always lead the empire to safety, or under the protection of God, the empire shall prosper. Prepare Greek fire dromons. We're not adding naval warfare to CK3 with Roads of Power. But you said... So get that idea right out of your minds right now. But we have added some representation for Greek fire, the famed Byzantine weapon primarily utilized in naval warfare. We are not doing it, I'm sorry. My hopes were raised and shattered so quickly. Setting the Bosphorus alight has saved Constantinople from ruin before and could do so again. The sheltered body of water is one of the few places that liquid fire, our secretive substance, can be reliably deployed. Let massive fire siphons be manufactured and a garrison fleet armed. If you complete a prepare Greek fire dromon scheme, Byzantion will gain defensive fire dromons for 30 years. While it lasts, enemy embarked armies near Byzantion may be damaged. Okay. Taking this decision as Emperor unlocks a new scheme that upon completion gives you the ability to harm or even destroy embarked armies near Byzantion. That's actually really useful against Vikings. Not that I have anything to do with the dev side of stuff. I know. I don't blame you in the slightest. Naphtha, Quicklime, and Temerity. As Basilius, I must be indisputed master of my home waters. This is a right granted by God and safeguarded through siege and assault by our harnessing of flames from heaven, our mastery of liquid fire. If Constantinople is to be protected, our docks must house more than helpless merchant ships. Where are my swift dromons? Where are my clever craftsmen, like Klafnikos, who will forge great flame projectors to spit sparks over my vessel's prows? Put Constantinople to work? Latins will happily construct our ships, or build a fleet liable to burn itself up? No. Establish silk production. Ooh. Taking this decision unlocks the unique Mulberry Copse estate building, which gives powerful bonuses. Upgrading the building to level 4 unlocks the commissioned Silk Regalia decision, a means of acquiring a unique artifact, one of the many perks of being emperor. Oh. Our family is among the few imperial authorized producers and sellers of the finest Byzantine silk. Our activity brings us gold and influence, and some more advantages, but we rarely enjoy the benefits directly. I think I deserve something extra nice for myself for once. So I don't remember off the top of my head when, like the secrets of silk were finally made their way into Europe. But I have heard stories about how they're, before that, what would happen is that Greek craftsmen would buy silk from the Silk Road and then dye it in Roman style, well, Greek style, however you want to say it, style of the empire, and then sell it back to travel east, and it would become a luxury item even as far as China. And in order to drive up the prices, merchants along the way would say, oh yeah, no, those Romans, they figured out silk production already. It's not, this is Roman-made silk, even though it was actually being produced in China, shipped all the way to Constantinople, re-dyed and shipped back. Global trade is not a new... if I remember, it's late antiquity. That sounds correct. I don't remember the exact century, though. Um, but yeah, I find that fascinating. You know, just the journey that a single garment would go through sometimes to make its way back to where it started, roughly. A while back, there was a forum post that caught our attention suggesting terrain changes for Anatolia. With some changes, we've decided to implement these suggestions. Here's an updated terrain map of Anatolia. I don't know enough about the region to comment on this. I don't even remember I don't even remember enough to tell what's changed. But if you do, let me know if this is a good change or a bad change. Argue about it. I'm curious. They added steppe and plains to the center. Ah, right here. Yeah. That makes sense. I do know there's kind of steppe. I guess steppe makes sense. I don't know. I don't know about what makes a plain a steppe, but that I know that there is a kind of a flatland in the middle here. Also, more mountains. More mountains is always good. I love mountains. Most noticeably, we added a bunch of steppe terrain, changed the impassable terrain layout around Cilicia, and adjusted some county boundaries in that area as well, including the baronies of Saloy and Tarsus, which are around here, I think? I can't tell. I just fought a war in this area last week. I can't tell well enough from this in my memory, though. And farmland outside of Byzantium. Oh yeah, there's some farmland here now. That I don't think that was that not there before? Neat. Hell yeah. Also the one in Greece? Was there one in Greece I missed? Oh, tucked in there. Yeah. That's I don't remember what barony that is. Shoot, I don't remember what barony that is. Gloss tooltips. One of my favorite things that we've added in Roads to Power is what we're calling the gloss functionality. We've always wavered about adding historically niche words or phrases to the game, especially when they wouldn't be translated. To me, this expansion wouldn't feel right without adding some Byzantine Greek words and phrases, and I'm sorry I've butchered the pronunciation. So to make this all work, we've implemented a new type of tooltip, which you can see an example of below. Triumph. Conclusion. Ian Aristein, I whisper. Definitely said that wrong. That sounded more German. Aristeuin is an ancient Greek phrase from Homer's Iliad meaning to ever excel. Ever to excel. An example where we highlight a quotation in ancient Greek from Homer's Iliad. This is sick. Good job. Good job, Paradox. Love this. Oh, and are we done? We've added quite a few of these around the new context we've created, and hope to include this more in future expeditions. Alright, folks, that's all for me today. As I've said, these are but a few examples of what we've made so as not to spoil any surprises awaiting you in Roads to Power. Are we done? Do we get another... Do we get another one of these next week, or are we caught up now? Are we just waiting for release? Last edited by a moderator today at 14:01. What time zone, though? Anyway, just curious about that. Oh, right. I'm so excited. I really don't know where I want to play first and what I want to do. Admin sounds so cool, and Landless sounds really cool. I was totally a Landless doubter before I got into the last couple of Dev Diaries, and man, this sounds so sick. The obvious choice would be Byzantium and then landless. That's true. Or landless and then Byzantium. Try to work our way into the empire. As a landless noble in Eastern Europe. Could be cool. Maybe play a Varangian. Try to get our dynasty established. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many cool possibilities. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's all I have for you here. Check out the Discord. Check me out on Twitch. The links should be in the comments of this video. Everybody on Twitch, oh, more comments. My landless into Biz Empire and same dynasty. Build this DLC is one of the best DLCs in the Crusader Kings franchise. I'm gonna save that until it's out. But I'm really cautiously optimistic about this one. This sounds so good. But I think some of the balance is gonna matter. Oh, Mali landless into Biz Empire and same dynasty. Ooh. That could be fun. Or Chinese into Biz, or Han into Biz Empire. Could also be fun. Varangian, West African, or Chinese into Biz would be very silly. Would all be very interesting. Upstage Mansa Musa, absolutely. Anyway, before I get too distracted and make this another 2-hour video, check me out in the comments. Check me out on Twitch. Thanks for watching. Everybody on Twitch, we're going to actually start playing the game now.